It's been so long since I been planning to do this video, and I'm coming on here bare face, bad background, but I'm doing it. And I really wanted to tell my testimony and get this message out to whoever wants to see it, regardless of the aesthetics of this video. So don't uh don't click off just because the quality ain't all there. The message is in this message. I mean, the message is in this video, so stay tuned. I'm gonna get into how I moved across the country with 2 kids and $300, and that's it, by myself, a single mother. So if I could do it, you could do it too. And a little tip, the main ingredient was God. So I'm gonna get into like the miracles that got me to the place that I'm at now and all of that jazz. So just a background, I moved out here because I was in an abusive relationship. My ex had pulled a knife out on me in front of my kids, so I was just over it. So the whole process, like planning and everything, was very short notice. Like I did it within like 30 days, yeah. Like I really didn't plan that hard on it, but like I was really intentional with the steps that I took to get out here and strategic. So I made sure that, like, even though my everything doesn't always fall into place the way you want it, it falls into place the way God wants it. And so that's exactly what happened with me. So I was looking for a place before I moved out here, for like 2 weeks, I would say, just to figure out the area. I already knew where I was going to be working because the job I was at had a place in Florida, and they knew my situation, so that's why I decided to move to Florida. And so like I knew the area, so I was just looking at places, checking out the price. My budget was not where I ended up at because I was paying 700 in New York. Now I'm paying 1400. So yeah, I mean, but it's definitely worth it because I'm in a better environment, better neighborhood. So yeah, I was looking for a place, and when I first came out here, I really didn't have anything. Like I didn't even have an ID. I had a temporary ID. Thank God I was able to get on the plane with. I didn't really have too much money, and I didn't really even have clothes. I literally didn't even have clothes, you guys. Like, it was crazy because like me and my ex were living together, and he wasn't trying to give me back my stuff, and I wasn't about to sit there and fight. I was trying to get out of here. So I really had nothing. But I was looking for places for 2 weeks, and then I flew out here to actually look at the places that I was checking out online. Didn't end up going with any of those because I just didn't like them. And while I was here, I was driving around, and then I found the place that I'm at now. Unfortunately, I wasn't even able to view it. Like, I just went off of like someone else's opinion of the apartment complex because I didn't have a real ID, so they wasn't gonna let me check out the place. But yeah, so first step is looking for a place, making sure you have a job, and then checking out the place before you actually come down is important too, just to get an idea, because you don't want to be stuck in the hood, like, and you don't have no family, you don't have nobody. Like, I was not about to do that with 2 kids. So so yeah, I did that. Then I went back, and I paid, like, I had to put down 250 for a deposit, and then my first month's rent at the time was like 1300. So I had enough money for that, but that was it. So I worked for like 2 weeks, and I was able to come up with like $300, as just like pocket money, because I had to pay for my flight too. The flight was like $400 for the like the three of us one way. And then my kids, they had like some clothes, but they really didn't have that much stuff. They only had like a couple of toys too. Like, they had more stuff than I did, but like even getting on the plane, like I only could have like one carry-on each. So I think we all in total, I had like 3 or 6 bags, and then like their stroller, which was kind of hard trying to get on the plane with that. But thank God, like, every time someone seen me sitting there struggling, they all helped me out. So that was a blessing as well. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very nervous moving here, because that is like a big transition. Like, I actually was thinking about moving before, like a month before I actually thought about doing it again, and I kind of like talked myself out of it. Um, but then this time was just different because I was just really done, and I actually had a dream about a cousin of mine's that had passed away, and we were all sitting in the living room, like in my childhood house, with my dad and my sisters and my brother, and we were all just, I just remember us laughing and having a good time, and then out of nowhere, like, everybody was just gone and it was just me and him, and he was just telling me like, you need to go, you need to just go ahead and do that. And I felt like that was just confirmation for me, that it was time for me to just get up and go, because I mean, it was scary, but if you do what you need to do, like if you have faith in God and you feel like, okay, God is telling me I need to go, then if you go, you'll be fine. That's all it is. Like, as long as your intentions are good and you have faith, then you'll be protected regardless. So that helped me actually transition into where I am now. And so yeah, fast forward, I got on the plane with the twins, and at the time they had just turned 3, so they were young. And the one thing that I was stressing out the most about was just having a babysitter, because like when I was down here too looking for a place, I was also looking for daycares, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, it was like $400 to $600 a week for the two of them, because they were also not even fully potty trained yet. So oh my gosh, it was so stressful. That's why I also was trying to like push back like when I was gonna come here, because I'm like, I need help. Like, my mom wasn't even working, but she wouldn't come down here. Like, I couldn't convince anybody to come help me. But then eventually I actually did convince my best friend's mom, but she was working, so she had to wait like, I think it was like a month or two. So I'm like, okay, I got a month or two before she comes here, but I need to work. I need a babysitter. So then my little brother ended up coming down here, thank God, and he stayed with me for the month or two. But when I first came down here, no one came with me. Like, it was literally just me trying to figure out like, okay, am I gonna sit here for a month and wait for her to come down here, and I'm not working, I don't have no income, I couldn't do that. So but I had to leave, so I just came out here with the girls, and I had $300 left over after all the expenses and stuff like that. Like, I really didn't, like, it's crazy to think like I was in New York only paying $700 for rent, and I had no money. Like, that just don't make no sense to me now, because like my rent's twice as much and I still got money, like, and I got savings and stuff like that. I don't understand how I was so broke, but it's sad. But yeah, so I had a little bit of money. So the first thing I did when I came here was, I got situated. I signed up for WIC. I didn't get food stamps. I didn't get food stamps for a while, honestly, but I had a neighbor, because I was really stressing about food, like how I was going to feed my kids, obviously, because I didn't really have too much money coming in. But I had a neighbor that really blessed me, I'm not going to lie. She had went to the food pantry for me multiple times, and like literally filled up my cabinets in my fridge, and stuff like that. So that was a blessing. But I would pray a lot. Like, I mean, I still pray now, but back then, like, that's all I had was prayer. So I would pray for food. I would pray for furniture. I would pray for happiness, peace. Because I've always known a life of just like chaos and drama. And now, like, I have peace. And I mean, at first I'm like, oh, my life's boring. But now, like, I love it. Like, if there's any drama in my life, I'll cut it out so fast. Because I'm like, we're not doing that. I like a peaceful life now. So yeah, so fast forward, so furniture, let me get into furniture. So one thing I recommend is to not focus on like the aesthetics. Like, literally, like, if I focus on the aesthetics, this video will not even touch your life, because that stuff is not important. I have to constantly remind myself that, because I'm like really like an artsy person and creative, and even like with like posting stuff like that, I worry too much about like how pretty something looks, but that's not important. Like, you just have to do what you have to do in the meantime until you can afford to upgrade. So like when I came here, I had 3 ear mattresses, because at one point I had 2, 3, 4, 5. At one point, I had 6 people living in this house, including myself. So, yeah, I had 3 air mattresses. I had a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I had a TV in the living room floor, because that's the first thing I bought when I came here too, was the TV. For a while, I didn't really have that many clothes. Like, I really didn't have clothes like that. I think I was shopping at I mean, before I moved out here, I went shopping at like Rainbow for the twins, and I had went to the secondhand store for myself, but the clothes were like not that great, honestly, the ones that I had picked out. But yeah, so I was mainly just, I really wanted more clothes, but I went to like Forever 21 and stuff like that, but I wasn't focused on that. Like, I really wanted to have furniture. So I ended up getting a couch. I'm trying to think what order did I get everything. First I got a TV and air mattress. That was the first thing I did when I first came here. I went to Walmart, got also dishes, towels, washcloths. I got a shower curtain. I didn't get like, I still don't have curtains or anything in the house. I mean, yes I do. I have it in the living room, but I have blinds here, so I don't have to worry about it like that. So I just got like the basic stuff. For a while, I didn't have a table for a long time either, but I have like a what is it called, like an easel or something like that. So eventually I got bar stools, but that was like later down the line. Like, I was more focused on having a place to sleep on. So then I also got like bedding stuff, and then eventually I got a couch. The couch I paid $100 for. It was like a brown couch, like it was a 2-piece couch. It wasn't all anything fancy. And then I got a table. The table I got for free. My neighbor had bought it for me off of Facebook. I got like all my stuff off of Facebook when I first moved out here, because a lot of the stuff on there was free. Like, I got 2 mattresses on my bed right now and a bed frame, like a good bed frame, for free on there. And then like I got like chairs for like my balcony, and I got I've gotten toys for the girls for free too, and then like nightstands and stuff like that I got for free on there. So I mean, eventually everything started to fall in place, but I was still very stressed out because, like, you know, I'm a single mom and I was paying $1,300 for rent. My when my brother was here, I was only paying him like $100 a week, so like $400 a month on top of that. Or was it 400 or 50? I mean, $50 a week. I can't remember, but maybe it was like, I was probably like $400 a month, because he was only here for like a month. And then once he left, my best friend mom came, and I promised that I would pay her bills, so I ended up spending like $1,000 extra a month on her. So yeah, altogether I was spending like, it was like $3,000 a month, and I was only getting paid like $13 an hour. Like God, when I tell you God was taking care of me, because how was I surviving off of that? And then when I first moved out here, I didn't have a car, so I was catching the bus, and the bus system out here sucks. So like I would work, sometimes it was only like 6 hours, sometimes it was more like 12 hours, not 12-hour shifts, because I would work like 10 to 9, so more like 11 hours. But I would have to catch the bus, and I would have to leave like 2 hours early, so it was like I would be gone for like 14 hours, and then I come back and I gotta cook and clean. So it was just a very stressful time when I first got here, which is normal. Like, you're in a new environment, especially if you're a mother, like a single mother. My family didn't help me with anything. They didn't like even, I did have a relative that sent me money one time, but that's it. Like, no one even sent me money. Like, no one was helping me at all. Except of course like my brother and my best friend's mom. That was like, that was enough for me. I was like, oh, I really was stressed about like having a babysitter, because if I don't have a babysitter, I can't make money. So yeah. But so like I got my furniture in order right before my best friend's, like literally right before she left. I had gotten my taxes and bought a car. So oh yeah, but when she was here, she did have a car. So like after my brother left, I was taking the bus for a couple months, but then once he left, she had a car, so that made it a lot easier for me. But then when she, like a couple days before she left, I bought a car, so that I've had a car since then, thankfully. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, at one point though, I was still in contact with my kid's father because I was trying to get help from him. You know, like I shouldn't have to pay anything. I shouldn't have to do this all by myself. So I was asking him if he could buy the girls a bunk bed because they didn't have a bed. Like we were literally sleeping on the air mattress on the floor, like the three of us. And he was giving me a hard time about it. And so I would, I would pray a lot about it. I'm like, God, I just want my daughters to have a bed. Like, I want the simple things in life. And so one day my neighbor had told me that she had told someone my story and she donated us a whole bunk bed. Like, I still have that bunk bed. And she gave us toys and she got the girls like little clothes and stuff like that. And that was like the biggest thing to me. Like, I literally cried because I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was crazy because I would pray for like little things and I would literally get them like within like such a short period of time. Like, I remember at one point I was in the kitchen in the morning time. I'm like, oh, I wish I had a crock pot because that would make my life a little easier because I'm out working. And literally the later that day, that night, someone knocked on my door. I opened the door and there's a freaking crock pot. Like, and then I asked, like, who gave me this? No, it just came out of nowhere. Like, it just was mine. And that was such, oh my gosh, like I literally had so many miracles happen. Like, and it's like little things. It seems like little things, but it was like major things for me because I didn't have much. So a crock pot, I'm like, yeah. I got a free microwave. I'm like, yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember because my neighbor was going to the pantry for me and to help me fill up my fridge and stuff like that because I still wasn't getting food stamps. And a homeless guy donated a whole pot and pan set for me. Like, I literally started bawling my eyes out. Like, that really touched me. I'm like, wow, like I was getting blessings on blessings, and it's only because I was following God's plan for my life and I had faith that, like, even if that's why, like, now I'm like, I don't be stressing. Like, if I could go through what I just went through and be okay, like, there's nothing that I should fear because I'm gonna be taken care of. So I mean, that was a lesson in itself that, like, girl, you can't be scared of nothing because you'll be all right. And so yeah, I had so many blessings. And then I ended up leaving that job because I didn't like the way they were treating me. The pay was terrible for the work that I was doing. And then I didn't have the reason why my friend's mom came up here is because, of course, I needed a babysitter, but I did sign the girls up to enroll in a daycare, but I was doing a program where they pay like a big portion of it, but I was on a waiting list for 6 months. So that's why she was here for like 6 months or whatever. And right before she left, that's when I got the girls enrolled. But my job was giving me a hard time. Like, I remember at one point I wanted to go see my family because I literally, like, I'm here by myself with two kids and I don't have nobody for Thanksgiving, Christmas, like any of the holidays. I spend it by myself, so I went to visit my family. They gave me a hard time about that. I'm like, okay, my hours, I can't work certain hours because I don't have a babysitter no more. Like, you guys knew that I came out here in this type of situation. You didn't offer me no raise or nothing, knowing that my rent was going up and stuff like that. So, like, it was just not a good environment for me. And, like, coming from a toxic environment, like, I just, every time there's something toxic going around, I don't have time for it. Like, I don't have the patience. Like, if I could, I just want to make my life as peaceful as possible. So I ended up leaving that position. I'm thankful because they helped me move out here, but like, I mean, that's just a part of the journey. Like, some things are just not meant forever. So I ended up leaving there. And then I was bouncing around for a while, which has made my life stressful again because, like, now I don't really have a job. And my best friend's mom is still here, so I still got to pay her because she's not working either. And she has bills, so... but I was working at the spa, but then the spa wanted me to work certain hours, and I couldn't work those hours because, like, literally, like, the hardest part about being a single mother is, like, just daycare when your child is young because, like, it just makes it so hard. You miss out on opportunities and stuff like that because of it. So then I started working at another place. I think at one point I wasn't even working. I think for like, it was around the pandemic time. I was looking for jobs and nobody would hire me because they look at my resume and they're like, salon, 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 salon. Like, what are you doing? You have no experience, and no one really trusted me. I remember at one point I had applied to this college, and this guy was doing like a phone interview with me, and he told me he was trying to convince me to go back to school. I'm like, listen, I hope you do see this video and see that your girl is making a lot of money now, and I'm doing what I wanted to do in the first place. Like, that, like, when I was on the phone with him, I was getting so irritated. I'm like, no, I'm not going back to school so I could make $13 an hour. Like, no, child, no. So yeah, I was unemployed for a little while, and that made it stressful because, like, once again, no income, and all these bills, all these mouths that need to be fed. But God made a way. I ended up working at this one place that I thought was the greatest opportunity. Like, I was offered like $20 an hour, and I was doing lashes, and I'm like, but it was only the weekend, it was part-time, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can build up my own little clientele on the side or whatever. I was just planning like how I could like make this work. But she never ended up calling me back after the 2 weeks I was working there, which at the time I was like, oh man, like, another opportunity that's just gone. Like, I just can't get my life together, I felt like. But little did I know that was actually like the biggest blessing, because the salon that she was at was actually right next door to a beauty supply store, and the beauty supply store had recognized me, and they offered me to come work at their salon in the back. So I ended up, once she didn't call me back, I just did that, and the rest was history. And so, like, it was like a lot of like, rocks in the road and roadblocks and stuff like that, but it all worked out, and I'm very grateful that I did make this leap of faith. Praying is definitely a big part of it. Like, I prayed, I'm like, God, should I really be doing this? Even though, like, I think back to him, like, girl, duh, like, you was about to just stay up in there, like. But I prayed, and then I had that dream, and then I prayed for furniture, and then I got furniture. So, like, but I mean, faith without works is dead. So, like, I also did my part, of planning and working, and I didn't just pray empty prayers. I didn't just ask for something and then just go about my day. No, like, I asked for something, and I knew that I would get it, and that's how I got it. So I definitely stress praying like the right way. You can't just pray and not think that you aren't going to get something, because you're not going to get it. You have to believe you're going to get it. And so that's what I did. I just had faith, and then didn't really have much money, but for somehow I made a way. Like, I really did. And now I'm at a point where, like, I'm working for myself now. I'm not even working for nobody else. The girls are not in daycare or nothing like that, but I work from home, so, like, I don't even have to have that expense no more, thank God. And they're gonna be starting kindergarten this year, so now I don't even have to stress about that anymore. And things are finally falling into place, and it's in my apartment. Like, I don't have none of that. I mean, I still have my free stuff up in here, but, like, I was able to, like, furnish it to a point where, like, it feels like home. So yeah, like, it's been 2 years now in August, and I'm finally, like, at a place where, like, I have a savings account, I have a decent credit score, like, I'm just at a better place, and all I did was have faith. And I definitely recommend moving if you're in a bad environment, or if you just need a change of pace, and you feel like it's calling you. You just pray on it and believe that your prayers will be answered, because they will. And that's how I moved, and that's how you can too.